Is anyone else tired of the marketing trope games do, where they advertise branching paths, converging storylines, and unique interactions from different types of players? Yeah, well, I sure as hell am. It's funny because this exact thing is what Baldur's Gate 3 showed the entire gaming world is extremely possible to achieve. You've got a keyhole, whether it be a goblin camp, conquering Moonrise Towers, or slaying an undead god, and you've got about 1,000 different keys to use on the keyhole. Baldur's Gate 3 makes it work by jellifying the keyhole, so with enough elbow grease, each player's key fits. And that's what's genuinely special about the classes in Baldur's Gate 3. Throughout Baldur's Gate 3, you'll find yourself choosing from a variety of unique classes, each with their own specialties and ways of jamming the key in. Now, I could sit here and list all of these off to you one by one, but instead, how about I respect both of our time and just show you. Earlier into the game, you're tasked with taking out 3 goblin leaders. Now, as boneheaded as I am, I chose a human male fighter and save scummed my first time. But that's okay. That was my key. But where I did that, a wizard casted invisibility on Asterion, to which he was able to sneak attack to surprise the 3 leaders in their unique spots and decimate them. A druid teamed up with Halson to lay down the nature-based smackdown on the leaders, and a Between Sardine type class found Priestess Gut's barrel room and liberated them. Do you see what I mean though? I could genuinely sit here for like at least 2 hours and list each and every method of conquering this one objective, but that would be pointless because there's some Baldur's Gate 3 nerd in the comments that would let me know there's actually the stinky poo cheese wheel method that I missed and subsequently come to my house to end me. FBI, open up! The fact that we can even have this conversation at all is proof that the freedom-based, fun-oriented feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 brings its players is something genuinely worth celebrating. Take a game like Ghost of Tsushima. I argued that you should be given a route to remain honorable no matter what in this video here, which fundamentally changes each and every encounter from a quick stealth assassination, 3-piece combo, into a desperate parry-based reaction-heavy bout. Off the top of my head, there are a dozen games that are desperately in need of a class system, or at least different keys to open the same lock. Feeling like your actions impact the world is a genuinely special feeling, and it's wholly unique to gaming. You don't choose a funny dialogue option at the museum and the painting fucking changes. You don't antagonize and reshape the movie as it's in front of you. This is something gaming needs to embrace, as Baldur's Gate 3 has. Because it's unique, and it's special. You know, I actually went through the whole game not knowing what Eldritch Blast is. You know, that debatably powerful spell that is a warlock's bread and butter. Well, on my first playthrough, I didn't recruit Will, I never spec'd into Warlock, and was always confused at this cool beam spell that I wanted to get. Now, eventually I learned, but isn't it cool that because of my one missed dialogue option very early into the game, I managed to miss out on an entire class of gameplay as a fresh player. Baldur's Gate 3 absolutely nails player freedom in more ways than one, but classes are a key cornerstone, and how other games handle it is what we're gonna tackle next. Please subscribe. You see, what most games do is begin with ambition, make 400 hoops for the player to jump through throughout the campaign. Then they realize they have a deadline, and so many cool mechanics get scrapped in favor of meeting a release date or pleasing some higher up. So those 400 hoops that would have given all types of players different memories become 400 hoops of groaning and moaning because there's no genuine way to get through the hoop without following the exact beaten path. There's no better example of this than Sonic 06. They had some really cool ideas going on with Silver, Blaze, and some of the levels. Then they pushed for a Christmas release and doomed Sonic to nothingness. Could you imagine a game where Sonic, Silver, and Shadow all had 100 different ways to get through a stage or beat obstacles in the way? Go into the comments and tell me, if your favorite game doesn't have these systems, how would you add player freedom and player expression to your favorite games? I personally wouldn't add that much because Spark the Electric Jester 3 is already perfection, but you get the idea. When I play Baldur's Gate 3 for the 1000th time because honor mode is still kicking my ass, I couldn't help but feel absolutely overjoyed when I first went as a half-elf, got unique dialogue options, then a drow, got to show the goblins who's who in a funny-ass power fantasy, went as a Gith and got to roleplay as an alien terrorist, and this isn't even classes. How about the fact that my half-elf druid got unique dialogue with the Grove, My Drow Paladin got plenty of Oathbreaker / Paladin options, like at Warkeen's Rest and with Minthara in Acts 2. Guys, this game is so great, and I'm trying to lay out exactly why, so aspiring game developers, gamers, and everyone at the top can change the AAA world for the better. Now, I could be a little fence-sitting chud and say that games need to add more player freedom so that they can be better, which is good. But in truth, the situation is way more complicated than that. What I genuinely believe is the root cause of most of these issues is top AAA decision makers not actually being gamers or artists. Why is corporate Barb responsible for what Discordians and gamers alike spend 90% of their days on? I believe there needs to be a fundamental shift away from a strictly profit-based monetization method. This can be achieved by copying successes like Baldur's Gate 3, not one-to-one, but in a way like I said, with Ghost of Tsushima. Not being afraid to give the player a little more friction for a little more freedom. It's a small step that'll take gaming a mile in the right direction, and it's what Baldur's Gate 3's classes are living proof of. Do you guys believe what I'm saying? I don't want to sit here and larp like I'm some authority, just because I'm the guy who could put images on a screen. I'm just the average gamer. I like single player games, I like playing with my friends, but most importantly, ever since I was a kid, wowed by Sonic and Minecraft, I liked to feel when I played games. Gaming needs some sort of change, and I hope that by pointing out these good or bad practices, telling the gaming space how I feel, that maybe, just maybe, gaming will eventually become that feeling catalyst exactly as Baldur's Gate 3's class systems were for me. But of course, tell me what you think in the comments below. All in all, I just want to talk about how the classes in Baldur's Gate 3 make me feel fuzzy and warm inside, because I feel Larian's passion emanating through the screen. If you liked and if you subscribed, helps me out a lot. But for real though. And if you're clamoring for more Baldur's Gate 3 content, I've got 2 videos coming out very soon about the Dark Urge and Illithid powers empowering the player and supporting freedom. So stick around. Goodbye.